The 53rd book that I completed in 2023 is Cutting, Understanding, and Overcoming Self-Mutilation by Levenkron. This is not an easy book to get through, but if you can get through the first 20 pages, which are extremely graphic, and I think Levenkron does that on purpose, then you can get through the whole book. And the more you read this book, the easier it becomes to understand and get through the self mutilation and the more graphic aspects of it. It's not that you become numb to it, because you don't. You just understand more and more and more what a problem this is and what a psychological issue this is, especially with females. I do think that the book is a little bit dated in that Levenkron really downplays self mutilation with males. And I think that some of the male students that I teach hurt themselves in ways that aren't cutting. So this book focuses on one specific type of self mutilation, which is by and large aimed at females. This book is not a long read, it's about 6 hours long. And I give it a grade of an A plus. I think every single teacher in America should read this book. Obviously, cutting is associated with anxiety and depression, which we have an epidemic of, especially amongst our teenagers. This became a very important book for me to read because I have a friend whose daughter resulted in self mutilation and cutting. And then also during the pandemic, I don't know if it had anything to do with the pandemic or if that's just a coincidence or what, but I just really learned how many of my students, or at least former students, and I have to assume current students as well, self mutilate. And I think it did have to do with the pandemic, because college students suddenly needed my help with their classwork more than they ever had before, because I think they were online and they didn't have access to things like writing labs and computers and professors. And so I suddenly was in contact with former students in a way that I hadn't been before. And I found out just how much bullying goes on in middle school. Of course, I knew all of this was happening already, but I don't think that I knew to the extent that it was happening and how bullying can lead to a lack of self-esteem and to cutting. This is an extremely important book, I would say, for all parents to read. I would say for all teachers to definitely read. So my grade is an A plus, extremely worth reading.